Good morning, welcome to the 2025 Tench Championships at Linear Fisheries. I'm Pat Dower, I'm the chair of the Tenchfishers with a sore throat, not really. So it's a great pleasure to see you all. There's some lots of new faces as well, and I look forward to meeting you properly and having a chat to you over the weekend. I'll be here for the duration. Lots of familiar old faces as well, so thanks for coming back and supporting the event.
Good morning, welcome to another video. As you can see, lovely sunny day, not ideal for fishing. It's about 10:30 now, and as the title suggests, I'm at the Tenchfishers National Tench Championships on Oxlease at Linear. There's approximately 32 anglers on here. We're fishing for 48 hours from Friday lunchtime, Friday midday today, till midday on Sunday. Only tench count, and it's basically the person who catches the most tench wins. It's as simple as that. Weight only comes into it if people catch the same number of tench, but it's about numbers of tench. I've never fished on Oxlease before. There's lots of carp in here, as you can see. It's a watercraft draw. We've been to the meeting in the marquee. There's a big marquee set. It's very well organised. Everyone gets a goodie bag. You draw a number out of your goodie bag, and that gives you a number of the swim selection. It's not your swim. I came out 15 out of about 32, like I say, so about halfway down. I had my eye on 3 or 4 swims, having walked around this morning. They were all gone. So in the end, I've come sort of pretty much down the windward end. As you can see, the wind's trickling down this way. It's going to be for the whole weekend. Hopefully, I can find somewhere nice to fish. Doesn't look too weedy. I don't think the weed's going to be a problem. We'll find some spots with a marker rod, and yeah, hopefully we'll catch some tench. So that's going to be the next thing to do. Get the marker rod out. We'll find some spots. We can lead about before the whistle goes at midday. We've got an hour and a half to get set up. I need to sort all my stuff out. Of course, as usual, I'll put all the information on all the bait and tackle and everything I'm using down in the description, but I'll run you through it shortly as well. But I think first off, we need to find some spots. So Hooter's just gone, midday, start of the match. I've done my leading. Obviously there's no baiting before the match starts. I can't see we're going to get too many bites during the day. I mean, it's really hot and sunny, as you can see. But hopefully, as this evening comes, perhaps we'll winkle out a fish or two. It's not going to be prolific. I think last year the winner caught 4 tench. So, you know, we're not going to have a big hit of tench. We're not going to get into double figures or anything. If we have 2 or 3 fish, I think we'll have done well. Right, enough waffle. Let's get cracking. Right, that is spodding done. I found a spot only about 5.5 wraps out. I found a spot about 14 wraps out towards the island, which I'm just seeing what I think was a tench roll, although it's 12:30, 1 o'clock now, so it's funny trying to be rolling, but you never know. It did seem like a carp boshing out, but it seemed more tenchy. So bottom's a bit nothingy out there, so I've got perhaps 10 spods on there, something like that, just to kickstart it with this pellet mix I've got here. 2 and 3 more pellets mostly. I've got some betaine green pellets in there. I've got some sticky method pellets in there. I've also got some sticky baits krill pellets, some 4 mils. It's the odd scattering, but they're mostly 2 and 3 mils, a mixture of everything fishy, really. So that is out 14 wraps. 6.5 wraps, I found a nice spot to the left, a little bit gravelly. I'm going to fish just naturals on that spot. We'll try pellets and maybe naturals, maybe boilies on the other spot. I'm going to keep one spot purely naturals, one spot, as I say, artificial baits with perhaps maggots over the top. Who knows, we'll just suck it and see. It's 48 hours to go, well about 47 now. So I'll put my rods together and I'll run you through the setup. Right, that's 2 rods in. I've got the far right rod in on maggots popped up about 9 inches. That's on the spot with the pellets, and I've got these, going to get these spots going. I'll just put 1 rod out there. Big feeder to start with, get some maggots in. You're not allowed to spot maggots at Linear, so all the maggots will go out in the feeder. I'll cast for perhaps the next hour, every 5 minutes, get some maggots in on the spot, and then we'll sort of slow down from there, see what happens really. Chap over there, I'm not sure what peg number it is, must be 20, 22, 23, somewhere over there. It's just landed the tench. I don't know if you can see in the distance the maroon t-shirted bailiffs are there. Not bailiffs, stewards, if you like, doing the weigh-in and stuff for him. So he's off the mark. So that's a good sign as well. There's some fish down this end. So yeah, hopefully we can get off the mark before too long. So to run you through the gear, I've got my Sonic Specialist barbel rods. These are 12-foot pound and 3/4 test curve. I've got Daiwa GSB RLT 5000, and he said 3000. They're the 5000s on here. I'll stick all the line information on line and everything down in the description below. But the business end, I've got these dark matter leaders on. They're like big thick fluorocarbon effectively. These are the helicopter version, and they come fairly well formed. I make a few tweaks. I like to put this anti-tangle sleeve on the bottom and a quick change swivel on there as well. Aside from that, fairly standard. I've got this no trace bead above that pops off if you get fish tethered or you snap off, and the hook link can slide all the way off, so they're nice and safe as well, as you'd expect being corder. And what I'm going to do is, I think on here we'll perhaps go with a bottom bait. So all I've done is to the quick change swivel attached a very dirty but a very short hook link, maybe 4 inches, 5 inches perhaps, something like that. We're going to go with a big feeder on the bottom to start with. I think one of these Corum combi feeders, the smallest size. We can pack that with maggots and we'll kickstart the swim that way. Right, we're fishing. I've got 2 rods to the left, short, on popped up maggots. One that far, one that far. And the long rod is on popped up maggots as well, just a few inches. But the right hand rod is over the pellet, the left hand rod, just maggots. I've spent about 20 minutes or so just feeder fulls of maggots, getting them in there. So hopefully, before too long, we can have a sniff of something. Hopefully a nice tench, a bit good, but in the meantime, while we're waiting, I'm going to tidy up this mess. Absolute total tip. We'll get the house put up. Well, run. We're in. Kited right round. I think I might have to get wet here. Got right in the edge. He's upsetting the coots. Ah, it is a coot. I've hooked a coot. Well, that was a bit of excitement for a minute. I thought we were in. It was a coot. Went straight round here, straight in all this cover. You can see round to the side here. If I turn you around, you'll see. It's gone right in here. And one of the stewards, bless him, has gone about as deep as I went to rescue him. So he's got him off anyway. Threw him back in the water and got all my gear back. So minus the hook, but he's picked that up off the bottom as well. So yeah, we'll have to be a bit careful about that. Really thought we were in then. Oh well, bit of excitement, wasn't it? Yeah, it's just actually tying some new rigs up. But yeah, right, back to that. Well, it's about 7 o'clock. And aside from that coot, catching that coot, nothing's happened. Except within the last sort of 10-15 minutes, I just started to see a few fish move really close in. So I've just put one of the rods, only maybe 3 rod lengths out, something like that. So it's been rolling, so I've just covered it with a maggot feeder, popped up maggots. We'll see if anything happens. Worth saying at this point as well, obviously this is a match, but I'm not coming in here with any thoughts of walking away with any titles or anything. There's a lot of really good tench fishermen on here, and I don't count myself in that category. But you know, it'd be nice. They split it into 4 sections. Could win a section. I'd be happy to start catching some fish, to be honest. A couple of fish over the weekend, a couple of nice fish. I'll be very happy. It is done on numbers of fish, so whoever catches the most fish wins. And after that, if there's a tie on numbers of fish, then it goes over to combined weight of fish. There's also a prize for biggest fish. Could easily do my PB. To be honest, I don't even know what my PB is. I think it's certainly an 8. I'm not sure exactly, 8 something. So that's quite possible to do that. But yeah, as I say, I've just responded to seeing this fish 2 or 3 times. Fish splashed out right in front of me, much closer in than the 5 wraps I was baiting. Maybe 4 rod lengths out, 3.5, something like that. So yeah, we'll see if they're up for a feed. The good news is they're up this end, and I did see the one, and clearly it porpoised out, and it was clearly a tench. It wasn't particularly big, but they're here, certainly. That's good news. So a bit of an update. It's about 8:30 now. It's been fairly slow today. I think, from what I know, is that chap over there caught a tench earlier on, not long after we started. The guy who came out second in the draw is the guy who won it last year. He's in peg 8. He went in there because there was a guy in there last night and had caught 2 tench. He's caught a tench. The guy's caught a tench in peg 3, which is a little bit frustrating because I nearly went in peg 3. It's right at the other end of this bank. I didn't because I decided to follow the wind down this corner. It's probably been the right thing to do because there's plenty of tench showing along here, and the carp are going crazy out there, and I think there's some tench out there as well. But like I say, peg 3, he's had one, but that's sort of the leeward end up there. And I've just seen the chap who had the carp just come out there. I don't know if you saw that. The chap over there has just had another tench. Well, there were 3 stewards in this swim, so I'm guessing he's caught another one, because what you have to do when you catch a tench, you can't retain it in the landing net. You have to put it in a sling, and then you phone stewards day or night, and they come round. There's 4 different sections. They'll come round and they'll weigh the fish for you and log it. You're not allowed any assistance with anything, apart from obviously they'll do the weighing for you. So I would say that see the fish moving out here. Hopefully you can see on the camera. There are 3 shows. They're in this sort of lee of the island. There's a lot of fluff on there I could see earlier. And again, look, I think there's a bit of a hatch going on as well. There's flies everywhere. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of a hatch going on, but there's an absolute awesome display of carp and I think some tench out there. We had that tench moving close in earlier here. I did cover it with a bait, but nothing at all. I'm not sure what to do tonight, really. Tench are not really renowned for coming out at night, are they? So I think what I might do is get some solid bags on. There's fish on the spots we've got baited. We've got this spot baited in here, 5 wraps. We've got 6.5 wraps out there on some gravel and then 14 wraps out towards the island. I've got 1 rod on each at the moment, basically covering all bases. So, and I want a rod out there, obviously because all those fish are showing. I want a rod in here because that fish was showing. And the rod to my left I've reeled in. It's been out for a couple of hours and all the maggots are gone apart from one skin. So clearly something's had a go at that. And that's the only bait that was on the bottom as well. It's the only bottom bait I got on. Maybe crayfish, I don't know. But I think we'll give this certainly another hour. And then we'll suss out what we're going to do for the night. You'll know if you watch the videos, what I normally do here is bring my carp rods to fish the evening, being as this is a tench competition. I've not done that, which is a shame really, because I think if we had 3 zigs out there, we'd be catching some carp, possibly some tench as well. I'm very tempted, perhaps tomorrow during the day. We've got about 12 foot in here, 11, 12 foot. I'm very tempted to put a zig out, sort of maggoty zig, maybe 2 foot under the surface. I think a lot of these fish are going to be up in the water again. But it's not due to be that cold tonight, so who knows. All quiet at the moment though. Right, that is me done for the evening. It's not a lot happened. What I've decided to do is put some solid bags out for this evening. So I've just done that. I've got 1 rod to the left on that spot, 1 rod 5 wraps out to that spot, and 1 rod 14 wraps out. Find it easier to hit the clip at 14 wraps with the solid bag than I did with the feeder. So must be doing something right tying up the solid bags. Anyway, so hopefully we'll catch some tench on them in the night. Perhaps we'll have a carp, who knows. But if I do, I'll see you in the night. If not, I will see you first thing. Going to get up at first light and we'll refresh the rods and have a crack at dawn. Good morning. It's 4:45. Nothing's happened in the night at all on those solid bags. So I think it's probably time to get the maggots back on. And I've been awake for about 20 minutes now, just watching the water. Lay in bed and I've not seen anything either. But the wind's still trickling down this end, as is going to be the way for the whole session, I think. Didn't ease off last night at all. Anyway, now there's my alarm. So yeah, I think without further ado, we'll get these rods changed back over. Right, we're set. Hopefully we can have something this morning. I'm spread betting again. I've got a left-hand rod on the left-hand spot, 6.5 wraps, right-hand rod on the close-in spot, 5 and a bit wraps, and the middle rod, 14 wraps out to a spot I found out there where I've put plenty of bait. I've put perhaps 8 or 10 spods of pellet over it and sort of 4 or 5 spods of hemp over it. Close-in one's had about 5 or 6 spods of pellets and the left-hand spot has just had maggots. We'll give it a few hours this morning. I'll perhaps tie up some worm kebab rigs as well. I'm trying to think outside the box a little bit. There did seem to be fish down here yesterday. I'm thinking of perhaps trying, if I see any showing fish. We've got 10 or 12 foot out here. Perhaps trying a 8-foot zig or something. See if these tench are perhaps cruising around. Because they do, don't they? They cruise around shallow. I've seen them. So that might be worth doing. We'll perhaps keep an eye on the margin as well, see if they're cruising around short. And just try to opportunist sort of put a bait right in front of their faces. as you do with carp with zig fishing. Just fish a bait up in the water. I've been catching lots of tench up in the water this spring. Not got any float gear with me, so another way to do it is obviously fish a buoyant bait off the bottom, up off the bottom. We'll perhaps try and do that if we're struggling. I've not heard anyone's alarms in the night. As I say, I've only really snoozed. I'm right bleary-eyed this morning. But yeah, the stewards are literally 10 metres behind me for this section, and I've not heard them get called in the night. And as I say, I've only snoozed. I would have heard, I think. As I say, I have no thoughts that I may win this. You know, there's a lot of guys on here do this a lot more than me. Obviously, I'm primarily a river angler. I used to do quite a lot of tench fishing, but it's changed a lot since I used to do. used to fish with a float just off the marginal shelf back in the 80s. I do all right, you know. So we've got a chance. Well, it's just gone 6. The guy opposite me has just had another tench. And yeah, the guys either side of him had nothing. He reached right on the fish, but it's exactly, well, another fish has just come out there. It's exactly where they were showing yesterday. He's kind of level with it, but he's much closer to the fish than me. I've got one rod out there, but perhaps I should chuck a couple out. It's literally as far as I can, perhaps. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, and again, something else has just rolled. Perhaps I do need to get a couple of rods out there. See if I can buy a bite. There's just kind of some porpoising going on, just some rolling. It's just possibly tench, isn't it? They do seem to want to be out just in the lee of the island. Right, that's 2 rods out there. About as far as I can get this kit. Popped up maggots. One popped up about 3 inches, the other one about, well, best part of a foot, I think. Just where those fish were showing. Hopefully. Hopefully we can do something. Certainly nothing showed closer in. So I think it's worth, well, there's a few fish showing, it's worth casting to them. And they do look like tench rolling as well. It didn't look like carp jumping out. I was just talking to the chap a little bit further along. He said, you can't believe how quiet it is. But most of the lake is quiet. It's just the odd swim that's doing bites at the moment. Unfortunately, I'm not in one of them. Oh well, we're not even halfway through yet. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning on the first morning. You know, many's the time I've had a flurry of activity. It's just a little bit concerning that, you know, we've got an overcast sky this morning. It's pretty good conditions, really. They were showing over here yesterday. Yet, I've not had a sniff. But if they won't come to us, we'll go to them. I'll bang those 2 rods out long. I didn't clip up, we'll just give it the beans. It's probably 15 wraps, I would say, which is 60 yards, something like that. It's about as far as I can get those Drennan feeder bombs, 45 gram Drennan feeder bombs with this setup. If I had bigger reels, I could probably get a bit further. But I don't like fishing big reels, and I'm fishing for tench, and you don't normally have to fish at distance, do you? So it's not an issue, really. We're in. We're in, guys. Just cast out of the rod out. I think it's a carp. I think so. We're getting there. This is a long rod, 14 wrap rod. Well, I've seen it a few times. I'm sure not sure what it is. Oh, I think it's a nice tench. God, sorry for not talking. My heart is in my mouth. Ah, it's a carp. I think it's a carp. Slight anticlimax there. From the off, it felt a little bit carpy. Come on, I'm not getting my feet wet again. Got him. It's a bite, it's a fish. Well, we're just about halfway through the session, as I said. It's just about midday, thereabouts. This one, he fooled me because he's not particularly big and he didn't fight particularly hard. He's not the best looking fella in the world. But we'll have a quick look at him. Yeah, I did think for a minute it was a tench. I thought at first it was a carp when he tore off, and then I could tell. Then I saw him a bit closer and he looked quite olive, but wrong colour. Hopefully we can have a tench. But that worked. That was a 3 foot maggoty zig. Clearly they're cruising off bottom. Certainly the carp I thought perhaps a tench would be as well. Been trying lots of different things. Anyway, we'll get this fella back and then we'll get the rod back out. God, this water's nice and warm, I have to say. Not hanging about. Well, it's a fish. I'm off a blank. Well, that was very deceptive. If it had been a bigger carp, I'd have known straight away. I did think first off when he tore off it was a carp, and then, yeah, he had me convinced the way he was coming in. It was a tench till he did that run in here, but I did think it was a big tench. But my legs were like jelly after 24 hours without a bite, except from a coot. That's, yeah, well, that's clearly worked. I'm going to put that back out again. It's my usual sort of popped up rig. I'll show you. What I like to do is a size 10 specialist wide gape hook, and on the hair put a piece of foam shaped roughly like a maggot, piece of red foam, and as you can see 3 maggots on the hook. And that is enough to pop up these maggots, the hook and the hook link. And I've been fishing hook links, what's that, it's 14 inches, something like that. And even short ones, 3 or 4 inches, with nothing. But literally, that was first cast out long over the baited area with a 3 foot zig. It's about waist high on me, so perhaps a little bit over 3 foot. We'll do it again. Hopefully, we'll pick up a tench that way. Right, that is the long spot refreshed. Put half dozen pellets mix in, 4 hemps, and a couple of these boilies. A couple of spods of these boilies, not a couple of boilies, which I'll show you now. As I say, I'll explain these boilies to you by way of this. When you come on one of these things, you get a goodie bag, which is very welcome. In here, I've not even looked what's in here myself actually. Linear catalogue. We've got tip and butt protectors from the tackle box, rod sleeves from the tackle box, more rod sleeves from the tackle box, set of rules, very useful. What have we got here? Some Velcro rod straps as well from the tackle box. Tackle box, obviously one of the sponsors. We've got some gardener stuff as well. Beak point size 10 hooks, useful. Small anti-tangle sleeves and some line stops, very useful. A little mini heli kit as well. A hat from the Tenchfishers. Love a cat, me, as you know. Tenchfishers badge. Tenchfishers sticker, which will go straight on my tackle box. Sticker from Handmade Tackle is another sponsor. And these boilies, which, as I said, just put a couple of spots of these in on the long spot. These are, I think, 12mm, looks of it, looks at the front. 12mm Tinkerberry, so clearly aimed at tench. They're very fruity smell, they smell lovely actually. From a hook bait company, again, another sponsor. So I've put those in with thoughts of tonight actually. I think perhaps we'll put 1 or 2 solid bags long on that spot I've just baited up again. And we'll perhaps put those on as hook baits. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. I'm sort of preparing. And, you know, the naturals are just not working at the moment. But I'm going to refresh the rods in a minute. We'll keep the one middle one out long on a 3-foot zig and the other 2 on the 2 closer in spots. Just on sort of popped up maggots this high and this high. And just see if we can get a tench that's cruising past. Right, that's the rods refreshed once again. It's about 5 o'clock on Saturday evening now, the second evening. Is that line sink? I am busting a gut to make something happen. We seem to be struggling in this section. This section is from peg 11, and peg 11 is up by peg 10, 9, 8, they've all had tench up there, down to 20, and the only guy who's had a tench in this section is one small tench, and the guy's in 11, right next to the sort of hot area. All the rest of us down this end, round to here, no one's had one. Apparently there's 14 tench come out so far. Hopefully I can make it 15. Yeah, I've tried every trick in the book. Cannot buy a bot. I've not even really seen any tench down here this end today. But we're going into the evening now, so fingers crossed. And of course we've got first thing as well. Right, let's get this sorted. Well, quick update. Nothing's happened at all. Absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure we're still on 1 tench in this section. It's about 8:30, 8:45. We've got all night, 12 hours, 15 hours left, something like that, 14 hours. Finishes midday tomorrow. I'm just hoping that perhaps pull something out of the bag. You know, there's a very big possibility that if I catch a tench on here, it'll be a PB as well. So I'm going to keep my hopes up, but as you can see, it's flat calm and there's nothing moving at all. I'm just stood here, just wondering what to do. I think I'm going to go with solid bags again tonight. I think it's probably the best bet. I don't think a couple of maggots out there even popped up, or a worm kebab rig are going to perhaps do too much at night. So I think perhaps if you want to attract them, we'll have a nice little pass, a nice little solid bag of bits and pieces. We'll put some goo in it as well, just to pimp it up a bit. Just have a nice little mouthful down there, and we might pick up a nice bonus carp that way as well. I think our best bet is perhaps the next half an hour, and then first thing in the morning, really ideally first thing in the morning. I'm going to get my head down quite soon, I think, and we'll get them nice and early. Get up 4:30 again. It starts to get light. Perhaps 4:15. There's the right party going on somewhere. So I appreciate you can't really see me, but we won't put the light on and disturb everyone. It's about 9:45. The rods are completely refreshed. I've got the close-in rod. It's got a feeder on with worm kebab rig on the bottom. I thought perhaps the fish, if there are any fish down there, will be able to find the worms with all the aminos coming off. I've got a solid bag on the left-hand rod, just with some krill bag mix in it, and a little pop-up in there. And the long rod is exactly the same. Over that bait, left-hand rod is over the maggots only spot. And what I've actually done is put some chopped worm in as well. Bit of a last resort. Get a bit of chopped worm in. But yeah, I'm going to hit the sack now, so hopefully I will see you in the night playing a fish, fingers crossed. Well, looks like we've got a take on this longer rod. I don't think it's a tench. Feels it's a bit too weighty to be a tench. Just trudging around, he's not going crazy. Just tells me it's a decent fish. I'm convinced it's a carp though. Yeah, I think it is a carp. It doesn't look huge. Looks a nice fish though. Got him. Oh, it's a good fish actually. Well, it's not the tench you're after. How's about that for an early morning wake up call? Absolute lump. I'm not going to weigh, it's not a PB. My PB is mid-30, I think. But it's cracking fish. It's certainly up there. Absolutely wonderful. I want a Tinkerberry boilies as well, but it's not Tinker, unfortunately. But I'll settle for that as an early morning wake up call. It's about 4 o'clock now, so we'll get him back and get the rods back into action. Cracking. Gone. Well, that's woke me up, certainly. Well, it's about 4:45. That's all the rods refreshed. I've sort of refreshed them with tench in mind really, aside from hedging my bets a bit on the middle rod. That's long. That's where the carp have more been showing, and that's the one we just had the carp on. I've put another PVA bag on there with a little Tinkerberry boilie on, the boilies that we got in the goodie bag. It's nice, so I had that carp on that as well. So it's nice to catch on something new. The other rods, the right hand one on the 5.5 wrap spot, that's on a worm kebab rig with, I've got one of those Corum combi feeders on. I've filled it with pellets and I've put some isotonic goo on that just to get a bit of smell in that area. And the left hand rod is on the natural spot, maggot feeder on there with maggots popped up a couple of inches, 3 inches, something like that. So hopefully we can have a tench get on the board as far as the competition goes. Blimey, go off again. Middle rod again. I'll make sure it's not a trailer or a liner. No, I think we're in. We are. That's what's rocking out there, isn't it? Blimey. Now what's this? This doesn't feel overly carpy at the moment. Literally can't have been in more than 10 minutes at the most. Alright, again, we'll get these rods out of the way. Well, it'd be nice if this is a tench. It's come in fairly compliantly. It's fighting, don't get me wrong, but it's not gone on any long runs or anything. He says. Oh, it's a tiny little carp. Ah. Come on. Well, he's absolutely soaked me. How cute is that? From one extreme to the other. Bit of a zip linear. He'll be one for the future, definitely. Right, let's get him back. That spot out there certainly rocking, but it's rocking with carp, isn't it? All right, fella. Back you go. Go and grow and make some carper very happy in a few years' time. Well, I really thought that was a tench. You can see why. Looking at the size of him. Ah. As I say, don't worry too much. Right, okay. Oh, we're in. We're in. Last chance saloon. It is about an hour and a half before the end. Now this feels tenchy, and it's on a pop-up maggot rig. My heart is pumping. Blimey, what a turn up. My legs are like jelly. My legs are like jelly. Sorry, I'm not talking much. Very nervous. It's a carp. Ah. Can't buy a tench. Oh, he had me convinced at the beginning. I know it's on worms. Got him. Well, it's about that. On worms, I was convinced this was a tench. Absolutely convinced. First bite on any of the closer in spots. But unfortunately, it's another one of these. Didn't fight too hard at the beginning either. But Giver could have been counting himself under the rod tip. Right, it's nice and warm. Let's get him back, straight back. Now, interestingly, I've held off the chopped worm till last night. Because it can be, I know it can be really good and really bad. So I'd held off, but as nothing was happening, I actually put a bit of chopped worm in here. Just a couple of spods with the soil. We've had this morning, I don't think it's a coincidence. And that was on worm as well. I think I said it was on popped up maggots, but it wasn't. I switched the rods over. There he goes. Four carp. What have I got to do to catch a tench? There's still only one angler in this section. He's caught a tench. He's actually caught two now. He's in peg 11, which is up that way, which is next to all the other swims that are doing tench. There's clearly some up that area. From 12 to 20, nothing. No tench. You never know, they've got an hour. Well, a carp's just come out right over this middle rod. We've got about 20 minutes left. I was just thinking of actually reeling one of the rods in. But you never know, do you? You never know. We're pretty much packed up, as you can see. Packed up everything that I can pack up. Can't believe that we've had four carp and no tench. That's the way it goes, isn't it? Everyone thought this was the end to be down. Clearly not. I mean, we've got as you can see, the wind's trickling down here. It's not a new wind, to be fair, but it is trickling down here. We have seen the odd tench roll. There was quite a lot of them out there on the far side when we started, but it's been hard. At least we caught some fish. That's the main thing. We were really struggling at first. I thought we were going to catch anything. So yeah, I can't complain with four carp, certainly. But yeah, I'd rather have had some green ones. Definitely. But I've learnt a lot, and who knows, if the date's fit, I'll come back next year. Have another go. Got a bit more of an idea now about the lake, about the decent swims. I'll make a note of it all on my phone so I don't forget. Although having said that, I mean, none of the bites have been, you know, what you call a screamer bite. It's a proper carp runs. They've all been sort of beep, 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 beep. That last one was a drop back. I really thought, oh yeah, I thought this is going to be a tench. It's a drop back bite. Oh well, you can't control what picks your hook bait up, can you? You can only stack the odds. Well, that's it. The hooter has gone. Time is up. So yeah, I've enjoyed that. It's a bit different. We're not caught any tench, unfortunately, but we caught some fish, so I can't moan. Right, we'll have a pack up. We're mostly done, and we'll get round to the prize ceremony. Not that I'm going to get one.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making this such a brilliant event. You have made it such a pleasure for all of us in the Tenchfishers, non-members and members alike. So big thank you to you all. A huge thanks to all the marshals, most still wearing their burgundy shirts, for giving up their 3 days their time. Thank you guys. I realise what a commitment it is when you could have been out fishing yourselves, and you've been here helping the event be an amazing success and making sure all the competitors are looked after. We really appreciate it. Without you, it wouldn't happen. A huge thanks goes to the main man though, the mastermind, and that is the Secretary of the Tenchfishers, the leader of the event, Ben Kennedy.
As of about, I don't know, 4 hours ago, Dan Wilding was in the lead with a 10-pounder, and then, and it's a superb fish I should say, then Mike Simpson blew out the water with a 10-15. Now, as per the rules, if you're over a winner, it goes to by default to the next angler. So what we've agreed, and Mike actually suggested himself because he's a gentleman, Mike gets the trophy, but the prize goes to Dan. So isn't that nice? It sums up the spirit of the Tenchfishers, I think, sharing it around.
Oh, so thank you.
Mike, if you'd like to come pick the trophy up, the winner.
Here we go.
With a prize of a pair of bespoke Harrison Advanced rods, built by the man himself, Ozzy.
A week in Benidorm.
Built to the winner's specification, with certain exclusions applying. The one, the only Mike Simpson, with 4 fish for £32.14, including a magnificent £10.15. Well done.
Thank you very much for the sponsors. Thank you very much for the fine stewards that looked after us beautifully all weekend, and fellow competitors, many of whom travelled an awfully long way for what's been a good fun weekend. In previous years, this has been won by top anglers, Bruce Roscoe, Wyn Jones. I'm living proof you don't have to be a top angler to win this. You have to have a bit of luck out the draw bag and try. So there's hope for us all. Well done, Mike.
Great speech.
I dedicate this win to Hellerman Tubing.